What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hit the Books, Week 15 episode in the NFL, our Season 3, Episode 16. In our third season, already rolling around, like Mackie said a couple weeks ago, the NFL season is flying by, already into Week 15 this weekend coming up. Lots of stuff going on in the sports world. Bowl games are getting started back up. We just had the NBA in-season tournament wrap up this past weekend. We're going to get into that. But other than that, welcome to Hit the Books, where we're going to cover all things NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL. We give out daily free plays and on all of our social media, so make sure you're staying tuned into that as well. Other than that, I'm going to hand things off to my two co-hosts that I'm joined by today. Mackie, I'll hand things off over to you first. How are we doing today?
Yeah, doing well. Just excited to be here. Coming off a nice win from the Cowboys against the Eagles, pretty dominant fashion as well. So love to see that. The top of the NFC East right now. Yeah, a few more games coming up. Big end of the season. Got a few good matchups coming up for them. So excited for it.
Absolutely. Ace, also joined by Ace, back with the three of us this week. No Jesse this week. Ace, how we doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I got my Bruins playing while we're recording, so that's pretty hype. Other than that, came off a 6-0 combined Sunday night football and Monday night football, so kind of rolling right there, up above 10 units. Got to keep it that way and look for another green week. Ready to dive into it and get going.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll jump right into the NFL. Obviously, we had our power rankings released for the Week 15 episode. Our Week 15 in the NFL season, it goes as follows. Number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Mackey's Dallas Cowboys. And number 1, those San Francisco 49ers will stay there at the number 1 spot. I think it's a pretty good list this week. I think arguably a lot of people are going to say the Chiefs don't deserve to be in there. Personally, I don't think they deserve to be in there, but obviously the way with who they have on their team, obviously everyone's going to say with Mahomes, you still got to throw them in that top 5. I don't think they're playing like a top 5 team right now. That's the one that I kind of have a little bit of an issue with, is them sitting there at 5. Obviously, you can make the argument that they could beat any of those teams in 6, 7, 8, but I don't know. I think this list is definitely going to change up if Kansas City doesn't pick up a win this week, at least in my opinion. But Mackie, I'll hand things off over to you. What do you think about the Week 15 power rankings?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on basically everything that you said, but the only thing is there's nobody that really deserves that 5 spot, in my opinion. I mean, the Dolphins choked this week. Terrible loss to the Titans as 13-point favorites. Um, who else was
I still
sitting
think
right
they're a
there?
better team than the Chiefs, though.
Who, the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the Dolphins are the biggest fraud. I think that when the Cowboys play them, they're just kinda roll them. But, um, I think there's nobody that actually wants to be there. The Lions, I mean, dropping one of the Bears, who are you really gonna put in there? The Jaguars haven't been playing the best football. Um, every team that's in contention for that 5 spot just is keeps losing. So, I mean, you're gonna go with Pat Mahomes there in that situation. I know he's lost 2 straight, 3 out of 4 as well. You don't really see this often for Pat Mahomes, but, at the end of the day, the Chiefs are what out of all those teams, the last team you wanna see.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Mac. Yeah, I mean, that's why I have the Eagles and the Chiefs rounding out our top five. Both have been taking some hits in the past few weeks, but you got to respect their roster and what they're able to do in the postseason in the past. And I still wouldn't want to see them. Two teams that I think are right outside of the top five, that, in my opinion, that could beat anybody in the top five as well. I think a healthy Jaguars team with Trevor Lawrence, they were rolling until he got hurt. If he can get back on the mend, they will look like they were firing all cylinders. And I think the Buffalo Bills are playing good football as well. I think they're going to get back into the playoffs and maybe ruin someone's season with an early round upset. Would like to see both those teams get in. CJ Stroud injury really hurting those Texans, pushing them outside the top 10, maybe even out of playoff contention now. So we have a lot to dive into this week, but I think it's a solid list for now.
Yeah, Mackie, I kind of disagree with what you said. Not wanting to see the Chiefs at all those teams on that list. I mean, even I'm more scared of the Ravens if I'm in the AFC than I am the Chiefs right now.
No,
No,
I
he's
didn't mean
saying
like
the Chiefs
I
than
meant like
anybody
the
outside
teams that like were choosing over the Chiefs or that were choosing the Chiefs instead of like
outside of
the
the top
Lions.
five.
I'd rather see the Chiefs and the Lions. The Dolphins, I'd rather see the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Even the Jaguars right now, I'd rather see the Chiefs and the Jaguars.
What
But
about the
yeah, the
Chiefs or the
Ravens
Bills?
definitely. I'd rather see the Chiefs or I'd rather see the Bills 100%.
I don't know
I
about
think the
that,
Bills are that
but
dark horse.
yeah.
I might eat those words coming on a Sunday, but because Cowboys have to go into Buffalo this week, but that's gonna be a good game. But yeah, I'd rather go into Buffalo than go into Arrowhead.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And that Chiefs defense ran by Spagnuolo, they can start snapping at any given moment. We haven't seen Travis Kelsey pop. I feel like they're saving it for the playoffs, but only one game up on those pesky Broncos now. So let's get into it this week. I know they got a game against my Patriots to right the ship, but a lot of these divisions tightening up.
Real
Yeah, we'll
quick, real
get right
quick.
in. Go ahead.
Huff, how off do you think, how far down that list do you think the Broncos are? I mean, they could be sniffing that top 5
They're
soon
top,
too.
They're
yeah,
not
dude. They're
sniffing that
definitely.
top.
They could win that division. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sold on this Chiefs team. The Broncos are gonna win this fucking division.
They're gonna lose
Ace
this
is
week.
laughing, dude. I think
When
it's
when
crazy,
the
but
Chiefs win this week and the Broncos lose this week, it'll look normal.
the Broncos are in the biggest trap spot this week against the Lions. We'll get into that. So I'm gonna hammer the Broncos again this week. A little early look on at my picks. Trying to get signed in so I can take a look at these at the slate for this week. So we'll jump right into the Thursday night game, which is Chargers Raiders. Chargers heading to Vegas. Vegas a 3.5 point favorite. Vegas minus 164 on the money line, and the over unders at 34.5. Tough game, obviously. Easton Stick is going for the LA Chargers with Justin Herbert done for the year. Like me and Ace said, I think that's more just done until Brandon Staley isn't the coach anymore. But in this spot, I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think that they're going to get the job done at home. I don't love 3.5. Earlier this week, before it was 3.5 when Herbert was officially ruled out with the injury, I was looking at the Raiders. I love them as a slam spot here, but now with the 3.5, I don't like it as much. Probably going to be a no touch game. Maybe a I always say Brandon Jacobs, Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown probably will find its way on there for me. But other than that, I don't really love too much going in this game. Probably just kind of find a Jacobs prop and go with it. Ace, I'll hand things off over to you for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, what a unexciting game from what we could have had at the beginning of the season. Two teams I feel like they had pretty high aspirations with a lot of superstars on both sides of the ball. I'll tell you what, I'm not taking a side in this game. I don't trust Aiden O'Connell. I don't trust Easton Stick. We're not talking about the one we use as young hockey players, but I think I'm going to be looking into the props again, do some prop shopping for you guys. So definitely check in the Thursday night card. But I don't know what to expect in this one. I really have to dive in and research it. I think
Yeah,
Josh
definitely.
Jacobs is the safest play in my opinion.
This is your basic Thursday night football game where it's just two shit teams that you really don't want to watch. But yeah, no Keenan Allen, no Justin Herbert for the Chargers. I'm gonna go with the Chargers here. I watched that Raiders game last week, and I don't understand how they can be 3 point favorites against anybody. I don't care who they're playing. Easton Stick. Okay, don't get me wrong, he didn't look good, but he didn't look absolutely awful last week for the Chargers. I think that they could pull this one out. It's a divisional matchup. It's going to be a really ugly game. I don't see a lot of points. I like the under as well. I was going to get into that as well, but I think the Chargers can win this game. Not going to see it on my card, but I think they're going to win this game, and I like the under 34.5.
Yeah, I agree with both your takes on your guys' sides. That's why I'm not touching either side because it really could go either way. But Mackie, I feel like you brought up a great point there. Last week's game, we almost had the first 0-0 game in modern NFL history. I think the last time it happened was like 1948.
And the
Ending
Vikings defense sucks. And now he's got
yeah,
to go
so
up
does
again.
the Raiders. Really,
Yeah.
it does.
Well, you mean Chargers?
Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, the Chargers defense does suck, but I mean they also just beat the Patriots 6-0, who's a
No, I'm
very
saying the
similar team.
Raiders defense last week in the Vikings 3-0 game. They held them to 3
you're
points,
saying,
and they're
yeah.
a weak
Oh,
defense.
yeah.
They actually
Okay.
played
I
pretty
thought,
well.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
this
it was
is
inefficient quarterback play in both games, really, and I feel like we're going to see that again from Aiden O'Connell. So that's why I can't put too much into these Raiders. Like I said, just going to be prop shopping for this one.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to have a play on this game. Like I said, if anything, it's just going to be a Jacobs prop. So we'll just move right into. We do have, like I said, some Saturday games this week. We'll get into our first Saturday game, the Saturday 1:00 game, which is the Minnesota Vikings, going with Nick Mullins under center, heading to Cincinnati to take on Mackey's boyfriend Jake Browning in the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are a 2.5 point favorite, and the over/under sitting at an even 40. This is another tough game to bet. Obviously, Jake Browning and the Bengals are riding high. They keep picking up wins. And he's looked really good. A lot of money's on the Bengals here. It doesn't seem like a lot of people have faith in Mullins to come into Cincinnati and pick up the win. I don't really have a side on this one. I'm going to jump back onto my Joe Mixon anytime touchdown prop that I was riding earlier on in the year. Get back on that. I'm just hoping Mixon can find pay dirt for me. Mackie, which way are you going on this one? Vikings, Bengals.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals here. Huff, you don't like that Jake Browning's coming in playing good football, huh? He's coming in playing better football than your star quarterback over there in Pittsburgh.
I just no. Here's what
There's
I
no
don't
star
like. I had a
quarterbacks
future
in
on the
Pittsburgh.
fucking. I had a future on the Bengals, and then they fucking got hurt. So now I'm like, fuck the Bengals again. I fully bought into them. Joe Burrow got hurt. Fuck them. I don't care about them anymore.
Dude, I think that they could still make a. Okay, don't get me wrong. They're not gonna
Don't
win the
say
AFC.
we could have
Don't
hit
get me
that
wrong.
bet.
Don't get me wrong. You're not gonna. But there could be a good situation where we can cash out of it. But I think that this team right now can go in and maybe squeak out a playoff win. I think they're good enough to at least get into the playoffs. Matters who they'll match up with because that entire AFC right now is a blunder. You have no idea what's going to happen. So you can't even predict anything right now. But I think that this team is actually still good enough to find a way into the playoffs and maybe squeak out a win, and then you can get a cash out opportunity. But I do like this -3 right here. I don't think I think the Vikings are really struggling at the quarterback position completely on offense. And I think the Bengals just have a little more going right now. Um, both teams need a big win here, so I'm going to go with the stronger team in my opinion, the Bengals.
Yeah, if I had to pick a side, I definitely agree. The Vikings are fucking morally dead. They've now floated between quarterbacks back and forth a couple of weeks. You win a 3-0 game last week. I mean, that's a moral victory, I guess you could say, but on paper, that's just not a good win at all. I definitely lean the Bengals here with the 2.5 points, but I don't know if I'm gonna have a play on this one. If I do, it's definitely gonna be the Bengals. I was already looking at a Saturday teaser of all three of these games, so I'll get into that after we talk about
Wait,
these
Huff,
three games. I'll hand
Huff.
things off over to Ace, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me jump in here. Let's not be so quick to write this game off. Both of these teams are in the thick of the playoff hunt. The Vikings with that 3-0 win, not only was it a moral victory, but that was massive. It brought them right back into the NFC playoff look. I think they're the 7th seed right now. If not, they're tied for it. And then the Bengals are sitting one game back with a lot of these teams playing each other. I know they're not too exciting, and this Dobbs or Mullins led offense has kind of been ugly the last few weeks. No Justin Jefferson as well, but I like the Vikings to get the job done here this week. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals are. Crucial game for both teams. Whoever wins has a very good shot at making the playoffs. If you lose, you're basically out. Maybe not in that NFC because you can be sub 500 and get
Nah,
in.
not Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think that the Vikings find a way to win this game on the road. The Bengals, I don't think Jake Browning keeps it up. I know he did it again this week, but I think it's just a facade. I know Joe Burrow's got his family up in the booth with that VIP box, but I think the Vikings are coming down and taking a win. I'm gonna go with the skull on the money line here. Mackie, let me know what you think on that one.
Yeah, I think he has some good. I just don't think that Jake Browning's even going to have to do that much to win this football game. I think he can have a pretty mediocre performance and still find a way. I mean, we saw the Vikings game last week, but I just don't know what happened to this Vikings team. I mean, even when Josh Dobbs came in, he was playing really good football. They were connecting, they were putting up points. Then they take a 12-10 loss at home against the Bears. Last week, they couldn't put up a point until there's 2 seconds left on the board, and it wasn't even Josh Dobbs. So I don't know what happened to that Vikings team. I actually had a lot of faith in them, but they're looking like the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league right now.
What's crazy is they've been playing bad football since coming out of there by the 49ers and most of the league do the opposite. 49ers look like the best team in football coming out of there by. I think the Vikings forgot how to play offense after they had a bye week, and Josh Dobbs or Mullins, whoever it is, has to figure it out. Must win game this week. Vikings on the money line. I might card it, but Huff, I love that Mixon TD as well. Had it last week. I think this game could be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I keep taking him off. I don't know why. Last week I didn't really go with any player props. I was trying to keep it easy and I just got fucking torched. So probably going back to the way I normally bet this week. But yeah, we'll jump into this second game. My Steelers getting a Saturday afternoon game at 4:30 in Indianapolis. Steelers at Colts. Colts are a 1.5 point favorite, -120 on the money line. Steelers +102, and the over/unders at 42.5. I want the Steelers to lose this game, so that tells me they're going to win this game. There's neither of you can convince me either way on this. Steelers do not know how to properly tank. We lost 2 games to 2-win teams. We'll go into Indy and win this game by 3. It's not going to be a blowout. At no point is it going to be a fucking done deal. Steelers will squeak this thing out. Indianapolis isn't that good of a team. I've had faith in them. They burnt me last week in Cincy. Give me the Steelers to win this game. I don't like it. I probably won't card it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Huff, on not carding anything because for some reason it's screaming to me that I want that I have the Colts to win this game. I think they handle them very well. That defense is stepping up. Gardner Minshew looks good with that offense. The receivers are balling out. I think they
They
win
looked
this
terrible
game.
last week. Did you watch last week?
No, I didn't watch their game last week.
Yeah, they looked terrible.
Who did they play again?
In Cincy against Browning. They let
Oh
Browning
yeah,
light them
no,
the
I
fuck
did
up.
I did watch that game. Yeah, their defense is weak,
Shootout.
but for some reason I think they got this game this week against the Steelers. But you know what I'm not going to do is bet against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's burnt me too many times, and like you said, they win games that you don't think they're going to. So I personally don't think the Steelers are getting in the playoffs. I thought the Colts, out
I
of
hope
all these
not.
bubble teams, maybe have one of the better chances to get in. I don't really know. I mean, I know we're talking about this game right now, but real quick, who do you guys think gets in this AFC bubble playoff race? That 7 seeds really up for grabs.
Denver,
Houston.
No,
I
I
think
think
the
Houston's
Browns. I think the Browns will make it. They're
I
eight
think
and
the
five
no, the
right
Browns
now,
are
but
like
I
a
think they'll
sixth,
make
the
it.
sixth seed though, Mackie. They're already. I think I'm already counting them.
I seriously
Yeah.
think
Okay.
you guys think I'm crazy for saying the Broncos could win that division. I seriously think the Broncos can win that division, and if they don't, they're in the playoffs.
I'm gonna go Broncos Bengals. Browns Broncos Bengals.
I got the
Yeah.
Bills. I
That's
don't know how you could. I mean, the Bills schedule, right? Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
it
get
Bills
was
have a
like
back
tough
into it
the
as we
schedule.
last.
get to these teams. But Mackie, let me hear your take on this Colts and Steelers game. Kind of a toss up for me.
Yeah, two teams that like need a win right now. I just don't think that either of them really deserve it. I don't think either of these teams should make the playoffs. But I mean, it's so Steelers to lose two straight games to two-win teams, and then go in a must-win situation and get the job done, even though it's on the road. I mean, I'm gonna go with Mike Tomlin here. That's what I'm gonna do. I think Mike Tomlin finds a way to get a win here. They lose this game, they're sitting at 7-7 after they were 7-4. Mike Tomlin's not gonna let the season, not gonna let them throw away the season like
Got to
this.
get a
I mean,
winning record for Mike T.
But
that
this
too.
isn't
He's
this
not gonna
isn't
finish with a
this
losing
isn't the
record.
game that you're putting all your money on. Like you're not confident on. You could see either side coming out to win.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm doing this for the sake of conversation. You will not see the Steelers on my card, but I think that they do get it done. I think they do. I think that both of these teams are very mediocre at best, and I don't know. I'm gonna go with the coach here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We have one more game on this Saturday slate. Like I said, the Denver Broncos visiting the Detroit Lions. Broncos a +4 now. This was opened up at 5.5, so it's already dropping. Lions -198 on the money line. Broncos +166, and the over/unders at 47.5. I already said Broncos are my play of the week. +4. Might sprinkle the money line. I also have them in a teaser. I'm all over the Broncos in this spot. Jared Goff hasn't looked good. What the Lions do, and I've bet on the Lions a lot this year. When you bet on the lines, if it's against a top 10 rushing defense, you're going to lose. They got crushed by the Bears last week. We saw what they did against the Bears in Detroit a couple of weeks ago. Teams that are against the Saints, a lot of these teams that have been really good at stopping the run, they've been able to contain Detroit. I think Denver's offense does more than enough to win this game. Give me the Broncos with the points and the money line. Mackie, which way are you going on this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean the Broncos as well, but why do you think this was a trap? I think if anything, it's more you're gonna see more money on the Broncos. Um,
I just think this is such an easy spot for people to be like, Detroit's at home, Detroit's back home, give me the Lions.
I mean, dude, this Broncos team, I think by now people understand that they're legit and they're one of the best teams in the league right now. They've won 6 out of
Dude,
7.
it doesn't matter. People still think Russell Wilson is like playing like he is in
You're
last
right.
year.
You're right. You're right. It's
It truly doesn't matter. They
you gotta
still
think
think
of
he's the same
you gotta
quarterback.
think the public mind here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos as well. I'm probably gonna take them on the money line. You're probably gonna see it on my card as well. I do like Jared Goff. I like this Lions team, but they just haven't looked that good. They have not looked steady enough. And this Broncos team has looked steady. You could see you could see the Lions come in here and win this game by 14 points. It wouldn't really surprise me, but I'm gonna go with consistency here. I think the Broncos have been just playing better football. They're gelling more. Sean Payton has really come together with this team. They're just fully they went full circle on this team. They were 1-5 in shambles, and ever since that 70-20 loss, man, I mean this team's completely different. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos here. I think the wrong team's favored, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this is a good matchup. My bad. Two teams that I haven't been too high on this year, and they've just been winning games, so can't really go wrong. I think it's going to be a shootout. Honestly, my favorite play here isn't over. I think that Broncos defense plays really well, but they can put points up too, and I think that that's the one thing that the Lions can always do. I know last week they kind of struggled in a letdown spot. Let's not look into that game too much. That was a divisional matchup. These two teams see each other a lot, and the Bears really should have beat them the first time they matched up. So kind of owed them one there. I'm leaning on the Lions here. Don't know if I'm going to pick a side on this one because those Broncos, like you guys have said, you guys have been saying it all along, and I've been staying away just because they've been playing great football. Not trying to bet against the team. I usually bet with the streak. So I think that there's some good points here, though. Personally, I think that Russell Wilson he has been putting up good air yards and good numbers, playing smart football too. If you look at his completion percentage each game, it's like 15 of 19. If you look at the bottom of the ticker, he's just throwing smart balls. Two well coached teams. One thing I'm really interested to see is how Dan Campbell bounces back following a divisional loss. Big home game, prime time spot on a Saturday night against the Broncos team who's surging, but you're also looking to secure your division and get a good seed. Crucial game, Sean Payton versus Dan Campbell, two of the best coaches in the NFL this year. I'm leaning on the Lions here. I know you guys are on the Broncos, but I think this one could go either way. I expect some good points in a Saturday night football game.
Here's a conversation starter. If the Lions lose this game, is Dan Campbell not the favorite for coach of the year anymore after losing 2 straight towards the end of the year?
Yeah, no, he can't be because he has too many losses.
What are the rankings like? What are the odds on everything
I'm
right
trying
now?
to pull it up right now. I don't have the odds on FanDuel. I
It
don't
could
think
be.
it's
It
Dude,
could
I
listed.
be
honestly
Harbaugh.
think Sean Payton should be in that running.
I agree.
It depends on these
It's
next few weeks for everybody.
I know the last time I looked, this was like 2 weeks ago. It was Dan Campbell and D'Amico Ryans were the top 2, and obviously the last 2 weeks they've both been struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right with
Yeah.
those. Those are good picks. Early on, there's a lot of good picks. Now I think is it going to have to fall into one of those guys who just like has a great season now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
It
I feel like
Harbaugh
it.
better
with
I
those
not be
feel like
Ravens.
Mike
If the Ravens
McCarthy.
finishes the 1 seed in the NFL,
See, I think they look at more like I mean, obviously, I don't know what the fuck they look at. I just feel like they value more like the
building
Broncos
a
were
team
asked
into
last
the
year.
playoffs.
They bring in a new head coach and they make the like if they win the division, Peyton's coach of the year for
Yeah.
sure.
What about
In my
what about
opinion.
Stefanski with all of the quarterback controversy throughout the year?
That's another good one. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like no one ever talks about him when you talk about like the top coaches in
And
the
look at their
NFL. You know what I
record
mean?
too.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they just keep winning games.
you don't talk about D'Amico Ryans as the top coach in the league either. So
You
It's
can
just because
see.
he's a first year with a rookie quarterback. It's like never been done
So
before. That's
Hoff,
why he's in the
you really think it
conversation.
could be someone like those Colts that are coming with Minshew, or like if the Bengals can get in
I
with Browning?
I feel like I feel like it's almost like more impressive for a coach to do that with a team like that than it is to just be like, all right, I've been the coach of the
I'm the
Ravens for
Niners.
12 years.
Yeah,
It's another 10-6 year. You know what I mean? Like we won the division again, like that kind of stuff. It's like you guys were favored to win the division, like you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff.
I don't think
But I don't
Stefanski is a
know.
bad pick. I think
no, I don't
with
think
everything
so
that
either.
they've had going on over there,
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that's a
and with
good
a good
sleeper.
Bringing in
record.
Joe
I
Flacco and
mean,
inserting him so quickly, I mean that's
I gotta turn on the Penguins real quick.
Robert Saleh
Penguins
had
on
the
the field.
chance to be coach of the year, and him and Zach
Robert
Wilson
Saleh
let
is
it slip in
start
week
of the
1.
year.
In week 2, I mean. No, but think about it. If he
Yeah,
could have brought
I was
the
gonna
Zach
say
Wilson led Jets to the playoffs,
going into week 2, Robert Saleh definitely was the favorite for head coach of the year after a big upset win with Zach Wilson in under center.
yeah,
Yeah, that fell
crazy.
off a cliff pretty quick, didn't it?
Then they went to Dallas and lost by fucking 49 points.
Everybody does that nowadays. That's just a rite of passage in the NFL. Like
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the cool thing to
you go
do.
to Dallas, you gotta lose by 30.
that's why it's so
All right.
important for the playoff game. But yeah, let's get into this Sunday, Huff.
Yeah,
Super.
Sunday slate. A little bit smaller of a Sunday slate, obviously, with a couple of games on Saturday. So we'll jump into our first 1 o'clock game, an NFC matchup where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. Packers are a 3.5 point favorite, minus 184 on the money line, and the over-unders at 41.5. In this game, obviously, Buck coming off a huge win against the Atlanta Falcons last week. Ace, you were on them there. Great pick there to take the lead in the division. That division, I think you said it is an absolute clusterfuck with 3 teams at what, 7-6, 7-7,
6-7.
6. It's a mess. But I don't know. I think, and then obviously the Packers coming off a tough Monday night loss to Tommy DeVito and the Giants. I think this is a good spot for the Packers to get back in the fight for the NFC playoffs. At home, they've been very good at home in December. You've seen all those Matt LaFleur stats. He's now like fucking 18-1, which I honestly think sounds a little better than 18-0. Like I know it's not, but I like knowing that there's that one loss in there just to get it out of the way. I think the Packers bounce back on their home field here. Don't love the spread. I might throw the Packers in a money line parlay this week. I love those minus 170, minus 180 prices for the money line parlays. Might go with the Packers here just to win this game. Ace, are you going with the Bucks 2 weeks in a row?
I really am. I think they're the team that's going to go on and win this division. As we watch more and more of this NFC South, we thought it was going to be the Saints. I mean, it still could be anybody. I think that the Falcons still too young. Panthers obviously worst team in the NFL, but the Bucks look like that team. Mike Evans is playing out of his mind. I know he had a down week last week. I think he only had 1 catch, which is crazy. Rashad White, top 10 running back, guy finds the end zone time in and time out. I know it's a tough spot. It's always a tough spot for the Bucks because they're not that good of a team. So they're going to have to grind out a win. I think Baker Mayfield gets into the playoffs this year. I don't know. I know I have the Saints on a long shot from the preseason, but they're not too exciting to me. I'd like the Bucks to go into Lambeau this week and get the win here. I don't think Jordan Love and the Packers are making the playoffs this year. No Aaron Jones. A lot of question marks and injuries all throughout the field. And I personally like that LaFleur got the loss because that means he can lose now, so we can confidently bet against him. Even though Hoff and I, we did say we liked the Giants on Monday Night Football last week. Don't let you forget it. But yeah,
Giants are so good in the prime time. Take the Giants with the points in the prime time. They
I
usually,
can't believe
unless it's
neither of
against
us
Mac and
carded it.
Cowboys.
I can't believe neither of us
Yeah,
carded
no,
that.
that I know.
We talked about it all week. But then yeah, Mackie, do you like the Bucks here? You think they're gonna end up winning this division? You think they can go on the road as dogs this week?
I think that they can still lose this game and probably still win that division. Um, I don't know. I think that Bucks team is just so inconsistent. They're one game they're good, one game they're trash. But I'm gonna go with the Packers here. I think it's one of those situations where the Packers are coming off an underwhelming performance, and the Bucks are coming off a pretty big road division win against the Atlanta Falcons. Not a lot of people going to Atlanta and win, so that was a pretty big win. So I think they kind of both level out here. I think the Packers could find a win here. I think Packers play a lot different at home. They're a winning team at home. They don't play good football on the road. They're just coming off a Monday night performance where it's prime time. You're on the road against an underwhelming team. It's just a bad scenario to be in, and they fall flat on their faces. It's a young quarterback, but I like their spot here. I think that I don't think the Packers are really going to make the playoffs either, but I think they're going to stay in the mix of it. I underestimated this team coming into the season. I do like this Packers team. I like Jordan Love. I think he's definitely still young and inexperienced, but I think he has a lot of promise. So I think they're going to find a win here. Baker's going to have a tough day up there in cold Lambeau. So yeah, give me the Packers here. 3.5-point spread's kind of tough though. I think this is a good parlay piece. I might play the 3.5, but I do really like the Packers here. I'm going to find a way to get this on my card.
Yeah, I was thinking
I make hard Bucks money line.
I mean, plus 154. That's definitely a good price.
Ace, I
Yeah,
mean, you're hitting with it. You're hitting it at plus money. I mean,
It's
what you
great.
might
It's
as
a
well
great.
keep
It's a
doing
great
it,
money
but
line play. I mean,
I
last
just
week
think
though,
this
I would have been tight if I missed out on the plus points when they lost by 2, but they pulled out the victory. But
yeah, that's a
but
crazy game.
real quick, Huff. No, we don't need a long answer on this one. But while we're here, who do you think that has the highest ceiling in the NFC South? I think it's the Bucks. Personally, they have the most talent.
I think it is. I think the highest ceiling is the Bucks. I thought the Falcons were just going to win that spot at home last week. The
Yeah,
Saints have
same.
a winnable game this week, so I mean, if the Bucks win, I think the Saints are a 6-point favorite. That's the next game we're getting into. So I think this division's going to stay pretty tight the whole way
Yeah,
to the end.
Realistically, I think the Saints have the highest ceiling, but I do like this
They have the
Bucks
worst
team a lot.
quarterback.
They do have
They
the worst
arguably have the worst
quarterback.
quarterback in the division.
What the worst quarterback in the division? Do you know that Bryce Young is in that division
No,
and
no,
Desmond
you're not
Ridder?
kidding. Yeah.
I'd take
Come
Bryce
on,
Young
dude.
over Derek.
Wait, no,
I think
you
Derek
would
Carr
take
over
Bryce
Derek Carr.
Young over Derek Carr.
I would take Bryce Young over Derek Carr right hand up to God.
Oh my God,
I
Joe.
think everybody
you
would.
watched Derek
Derek
Carr
Carr
this year,
looks
bro?
brutal.
Guys, okay, I understand Derek Carr is playing very bad football. You could not possibly understand. Like you do not watch Panthers games if you would actually take
Switch
Bryce
role.
Young over any other
Yeah, but look
quarterback
at the
in the league.
situation he's in.
I don't care.
Switch
Watch
roles.
him play football.
Put him
Switch
behind the
roles.
Saints O
Which
line.
rules, and I promise you the Panthers have more than one win. I
The
promise
Panthers
you.
have the worst roster in the
Jared,
NFL.
I completely disagree.
I promise you. They've lost.
No,
I would
I
take
think
the
Bryce
number
Young is
one pick over
absolutely
Derek Carr
terrible.
every time.
Yeah.
Give me the young
That's
guy
like
from
you-
Alabama.
Have a random person go watch football. Go watch that quarterback and tell me he's the number one overall pick.
Do you know
There's
what
not one
Derek
person
Carr
on
would
the
look like behind the
planet
Panthers O line? Imagine Derek Carr
better
behind
than
the Panthers
Bryce
O
Young.
line.
Imagine Bryce Young behind the Saints team. I mean, they're worse.
It'd be so
They have
much better.
They have 2-3
He has
wins.
Olave, Kamara, a Pro Bowl lineman.
This is
An elite
astonishing.
running back in
This
his
is-
backfield. He doesn't have
this is-
Miles Sanders behind him. There's actually a run threat with Alvin Kamara.
This
You have
is
two elite
astonishing.
receivers,
It's
a veteran
astonishing.
tight end, a legit line, and a defense you can trust. He would
It's
be in a much
astonishing.
better situation in New Orleans.
Bro, they have Jameis behind him. Why don't they just throw Jameis?
That guy's
Jameis is better
terrible.
than Bryce
They
Young.
don't
too.
like Jameis. They
Nobody
don't like
likes
Jameis.
Jameis. I don't think he even
Dude,
plays
Bryce
football.
Young
He's
is
just there for a
terrible.
good
I'm not even trying to back up Derek Carr. I don't think Derek Carr is playing good football at all. I think he's playing terrible football.
You think the ships are already sailed on Bryce Young? You think this early into his career on the worst team in the NFL, he's done?
I didn't say that. I'm saying right now, if you put Bryce Young and you switch their players, okay, yeah, if you want to actually trade these players, yeah, you're gonna take Bryce Young because he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
But if you're taking right now,
For
you trade these
one
players-
year, this year, give me Bryce Young.
No,
Yeah, I'll take Bryce Young, too.
absolutely not.
I
No,
think the Saints would
absolutely
agree with you. Did you not see that O lineman fighting with Derek Carr last week?
They don't pick him up anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even like I'm not trying to defend Derek Carr at all. I'm just that's a crazy. I think Bryce Young is the worst quarterback
Dude,
in the
I'm
league.
not
I
gonna
think he's
lie
worse
though.
than
I
Zach
thought
Wilson.
when I said that, I thought you were gonna jump at me about the Falcons quarterbacks because I didn't really think about them.
Yeah,
just
me
taking
too. I was like,
saying
yeah, Desmond
basically,
Ritter
yeah. I
sucks.
was,
Desmond Ritter,
I was
dude.
like, eh.
Derek Carr is better than Desmond Ritter.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
take
but he's
Derek
not
Carr,
better
but
than
Desmond
Bryce
Ritter.
Young.
You can't honestly tell me you wouldn't rather Bryce Young than Derek Carr this year.
I'm astonished that you do. You don't understand. Like I'm mind blown that you would take Bryce. I think I would take Desmond Ritter over Bryce Young too.
Oh, that's asinine. Yeah, you got them all out of order.
I
That's
just
actually
told you I think
terrible.
he's the worst quarterback in the league. I think the 4 worst quarterbacks are Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett, and Desmond Ritter.
Oh, Mac Jones escapes, dude. Let's go.
Oh, 5. Okay, there's 5 right there. Okay, I'll
He's
kick
not,
out. I'll kick out
he's
Kenny
not in the
Pickett.
NFL after this year, so
Yeah.
it
Well,
doesn't
actually, you
count.
gotta say
kick out
Bailey
Kenny
Zapp.
Pickett.
You gotta say Bailey Zapp because we're talking about starters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll take Bailey Zapp over all those guys.
All right, let's get into the
All
Saints
right, we
game
will
with
get
Mac,
into
your boy
this New
Derek
Orleans
Carr.
Saints game. Yeah, Mackie, your boy Derek Carr coming into this
Guys,
game as a
I hate Derek
6-point
Carr.
favorite against your New York Giants. It's a tough spot for you. Where do you go on this one? With the Saints as a 275, minus 275 on the money line, and the over/under is 39.5. I like the Saints to cover the number here. I've been burnt by the Saints a million times. Not going to card it because Derek Carr fucking sucks. Not going to card it. Saints are a good money line piece. They'll win this game.
Oh my God, you can't just say all that and then bet on the Saints. No, I'm fucking with you. But yeah, I mean, I like the Saints here too. I mean, Saints kind of just tore apart that Panthers team. They kind of it was a close game for 3 quarters, I think. But towards the end of the game, the Saints just kind of took off. Roster's better and everything. Nothing to do with the quarterback or anything. But yeah, Giants coming off an overwhelming performance. I think that they kind of get um come back down to life a little more. Tommy Cutlets kind of comes back down to life a little more. He's playing pretty good football, but this is a pretty good defense. Saints Saints should cover 6.2. It's a pretty big game for them too. But yeah, what do you guys think, or what do you think, Ace?
I think the Saints do win this game. Like if I had a survival pick, I'd take them. I took them in my survival last week. But I don't think they can cover that points. I mean, they could, but the odds of it are very slim. I mean, I think Saquon Barkley has the chance to take over this whole game and win it for him. He kind of did it last week. Him and DeVito combined went for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. So I think that the Giants have a chance to cover. I took them on the money line last week. This was a primetime game in New York. Give me the Giants, but it's not, and they're not really playing for much. And like you said, DeVito and them are playing high. They got to come back to earth a little bit. Give me the Saints here. I think they're going to win. That's a money line piece, but not with those points.
What do you guys think of DeVito?
I think he's an elite backup. He's never going to be a starting quarterback.
I think the Giants are scarier with him than with Daniel Jones.
No,
I do too, which is crazy because you just gave Daniel Jones $90 million. But it's what's crazy is there's radio hosts here comparing him to like Linsanity. And I just think that's absolutely asinine. I mean, he had 13
He's not doing that good.
He had 13 completions for 140 yards last game. Like, relax.
But he ran for
Jeremy
90.
Lin was putting up like
He ran
47 in the Garden against Kobe.
Jeremy Lin shook off, or no, that was in the Lakers. But
No,
this
he
is
called
like
off Kobe. He called the
Jeremy
ball.
Lin called off Kobe and drained a 3, and that was in L.A. That wasn't even in New York. So
yeah, when he was all over TV. No, but I think DeVito's playing up to his ability. I think he'll be an elite backup quarterback down the road. I like what he does with his feet. It gives you that whole other option. Good backup quarterback to Daniel Jones. Good scheme fit, honestly. But yeah, I think they would only win this game in the prime time. I think he's going to stick around as a backup. Not much more. Good story, though.
I agree. I don't know. I agree more about the Saints winning. I kind of think DeVito's going to be decent. I kind
of like him. I mean, how you gonna explain the winning record?
How do you not like it? Like, how do you not root for that dude? It's so funny. His fucking agent. It's sick. I like it. All right. I think, we're all on the Saints there. Mostly to win that game, Mackie said they could cover the spread. Another divisional matchup with the NFC South. The other teams in the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons, heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Falcons coming to this game as a 3-point favorite, minus 168 on the money line, and the over-under is at 34. I do like the Panthers in this spot. I think they cover the number. Falcons can't cover a spread. Give me the Panthers plus the points. I don't love the money line. I could tease the Panthers up a little bit this week. I don't know if I'm actually going to go with it. I do like them plus the points. I might take this. Give me the Panthers with the 3. I'd like it to be 3.5.
I think the Panthers get another win here, get their second win under their belt. I like the under. I like to play it. I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. I think I do kind of like the Panthers here, but I don't know. I feel like I've been taking them a few times, but I mean they're a 1-12 team. How are you going to really take
You
them?
called their only win of the season, though. You
I did
carded
call
them
their only
early.
win of the season, but I've also lost on them more than I've won that one
Yeah.
win. You know what
I
I
almost
mean?
took their spread last week in New Orleans, the
Wait,
+6, and
Mackie,
I
you
took it
Yeah,
on
bet
my
I
on
right
won.
Bryce
last
Young?
second.
I bet on the pay. Well, yeah, I won on Bryce Young. Just like you
Best
just bet
player
on
on the
just like you just bet on New Orleans.
Yeah, no, I know. I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I think this is a very underwhelming game. Massive spot for the Falcons. I don't know how you think the Panthers have a chance of winning this one. I don't think they do at all. I think the Falcons win this game and keep themselves in the playoff race till the end of it, just like the other
I
three.
mean,
That's
dude,
exactly
they
why I
can
think the Falcons lose this game is because it's a huge game for them, and all they do is lose games they
all
need to
these
win.
NFC South teams. I mean, they just lose games that they need to win.
Mhm,
You could
mhm.
literally see all three of those teams lose games this
I
week, and
think
they're
all
both
three
all
win
sitting
this
there
week,
6 and
though.
8.
I think all three win this week.
They could very well, but I don't know. I mean, that's
I would
asking
like
for
to
a
see
lot
all
for this
three win this
division.
week. That'd make for a good storyline down the stretch.
It's asking for a
I think
lot
it'd be
for this
funnier if
division.
they all lost
I think
and
it'd
we're
be
still
hilarious,
tied,
and
personally.
I think it's more realistic to be honest.
Huff,
Yeah.
I think you did a good job carding Bijan lately with a touchdown because I think he's going to start getting that gravy train towards the end of the season to make sure he gets into that Rookie of the Year conversation.
Yeah, I didn't really think. Is he kind of like in the race for that? Who's the
CJ
offensive
Stroud's got
rookie
to
of the
be
year?
running away.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah,
CJ
true.
Stroud.
And speaking of CJ
Jaden Reed,
Stroud, we will get into this
he's up
next.
there too.
Really, for the Packers?
I feel like he could be now. He's been getting touchdowns for a few
Yeah, he
weeks in a
keeps
row now.
scoring. Yeah, true. But like I said, getting over to CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. Texans are heading to Tennessee this week to take on the Titans. Titans are a -2.5 point favorite, -144 on the money line, and over under 37.5. Titans coming off a huge Monday night comeback against Miami in Miami, down 14 with 5 minutes left. I saw a stat that teams that did that were like 0 and fucking, I don't even know. It was a huge number, triple digits, and Titans were the first team to come back in that amount of time with that point deficit. Huge win. I think they're riding high. Give me the Texans here to get a win.
Does anybody else hate these South divisions? Like the
Yeah.
AFC and the NFC? Like
I
I
like
just
the
like
AFC
they're
South a
so
lot. I actually really like the AFC
they're
South.
just I hate these games, man. Like what is this spread? I don't know. Ace, what do you
Is
think?
Stroud
I don't
playing?
know.
He's not. He hasn't practiced yet this week. He's still in concussion protocol.
Yeah, my
It's
Texans pick is
questionable.
airing on the side of him playing, but obviously that spread will
I'll tell
change.
you what.
I'm probably not going to have a play on this one. I might just go with the Henry touchdown, like we've been doing. Ace, you've been ripping it on the card. It's been so profitable, but I don't know. I don't really like this game at all.
Yeah, no, but CJ Stroud, if he plays in this game, I guarantee a win from the Texans this week. If he does not, I guarantee a loss from the Titans. I think it's dependent on him. But let me just read this Derrick Henry stat for you.
It's the same
His
thing.
props against the Texans the past few years have been. What are you saying? You just read.
You said it. You
said
said
a
if
win from
CJ Stroud doesn't play, I guarantee a loss for the Texans or for the Titans. You said
for the
you
Texans.
basically said
You
the
know what I
same
mean?
thing. Just
If
yeah,
Stroud
we know
plays,
you
they
meant.
win. If Stroud doesn't play, they lose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Derrick Henry in his last 5 games versus the Texans, you ready? 23 carries, 126 yards, 1 touchdown. 32 carries for 219 and 2 touchdowns. 34 for 250 and 2. 22 for 212 and 2. 32 for 211 and 3. So he demolishes the Houston Texans. His lowest rushing total, 126. Scoring in every game. Most games being multiple touchdowns, except for one. I mean, I'm going with Derrick Henry touchdown here. Maybe a yardage prop as well. It's going to be a terrible line for this week. I bet you we see it in the
Are
low minuses.
those lines a little skewed from a couple years ago? Like I know they play twice a year. So how many games did you just name?
His last 5.
Okay, so that's 2.5 years basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are pretty average.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking like back 2.5 years ago, the Texans were terrible.
yeah, they were the last 2 years, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, the defense hasn't grown too much. It's more Stroud in the offense.
Yeah, I definitely think he gets in the end zone. I don't know about a 200-yard game. That's
No.
obviously the hardest thing to call in the world. But I probably he'll probably go over his rushing prop. I don't know what it's set at. I think he's usually 78, 9
Yeah,
around there.
exactly what I was thinking.
So I definitely like the rushing prop. I'm probably gonna for sure take the touchdown. I wish I would have taken it Monday night, but yeah. So not a great game. Obviously, either side. There's a lot of unknown with Stroud not really being for sure to play in this game.
What's going on, everybody? Jesse from Hit the Books here. I want to tell you a little bit about Zencastr. We choose Zencastr because it's the best solution for us. What's going on, everybody? Jesse from Hit the Books here. I want to tell you a little bit about Zencastr. We use Zencastr because it's the best solution for us to record our episodes each week with 4 of us in different locations. Coordination is hard, and Zencastr makes that easy. Like I said, it's so easy. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Just log in with your browser and start recording a high quality podcast right away. Record studio quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Zencastr is an all-in-one platform. If you've thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. Zencastr is all-in-one podcasting platform. You can create a podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other major destinations. If you're interested, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code HITTHEBOOKS, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same experience, easy experience we do with all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Make sure to use our link in the description below or our offer code HITTHEBOOKS at zencastr.com/pricing for 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan.
We'll move over to another divisional game where we have the New York Jets heading to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins are an 8.5-point favorite in this game, a minus 430 on the money line. Jets plus 340. And the over-unders at 37.5. Jets look like obviously a whole different team last week, beating the Texans in MetLife. Zach Wilson back under center. They put up 30 points. They only gave up so many. The defense is the defense for the Jets. They've been great all year. Ace, we'll start off with you this one, and then you can hand it back off over to me. Which way are you going on this one, Jets, Dolphins?
Yeah, I just wanted to refresh everybody's memory the last time they met. So they crushed every prop. They covered the big spread.
This was the game me and you just went off.
Yeah, but Huff, I mean, you got saved by one of the craziest scenarios we're ever going to see. That was actually a very tight football game until that interception, pick six to cover for you. I mean, it was without
was
Tim
so
Boyle. You can argue
crazy.
that if it was anybody other than Tim Boyle in the way Zach Wilson played last week, I think the Jets have a chance to cover this game. I think that Tua Tagovailoa is going to struggle. Tyreek Hill is limited. He's questionable for this week too because they might want to rest him. I want to see
So
what
is
he can do
Raheem
without him.
Mostert.
He looked like a weak game manager. I know Mostert's been great. I still think the Dolphins win this one either way, but I think that the Jets cover the spread this week. I think that's a low-scoring game. I think Tua struggles to put points on the board. I'm going to say Jets win this one, maybe like 24-13 at
I
best.
mean, Miami.
Yeah, I mean, Miami wins this one 24-13. That's the most I see them putting up. But I really see sub 20 for both teams, but the Dolphins still winning.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you. Actually, Huff, you wanted to go on this one?
Yeah, I it doesn't really matter. You can go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this is a good spot for the Jets to at least cover. It's a divisional game. I think the Jets defense is playing great against even phenomenal offenses. And like you said, Tyreek Hill is going to be limited this week. They want to really rest him as the season kind of gets towards the playoffs. Raheem Mostert could be out, so you could see a limited Miami Dolphins offense here. With that being said, I think that they get the job done. I don't think they drop two straight to non-playoff teams. I think they need to get this job done, but I could see them definitely putting up under like 24 points. Jets keeping it close. And the 8.5 is a lot here, I think. So I'm gonna go with the Jets plus 8.5.
See, I kind of like the Dolphins with the points. I think the Dolphins get back home, get right at home. They destroy bad teams. You can say the Jets aren't that great of a team, and the defense is what it is. I just said that they've been not allowing points all year. Obviously, like you said, Tyreek Hill questionable. I'm actually hoping he doesn't play in this game because he's my number one fantasy receiver. I'd love to have him next week when I get out of this bye week. I like the Dolphins here. I think this line is going to move a little bit. You might be able to get the Dolphins -8, -7.5. I think that is a little bit too many points for this Jets team, but I'm on the Dolphins here to cover the number. They went 3-0 for me last time against this team. I know it's a different quarterback. Not too much more scared of him, I should say, than Tim Boyle. At least right now, they're playing with good. I guess you could say they have a good vibe over there in New York with what they've been playing with, coming off a win against a Texans team. I like the Dolphins here at home. Sunday, 1:00. This is a game where the good team just gets the win. Give me the Dolphins -8.5.
Hey, Huff, here's a question for you. I'm in the first round of the playoffs. I have Tua Tagovailoa going against the Jets with a limited and maybe even out Tyreek Hill. Would you start him this week, or should I play him for
I'd sit
either
him.
Kyler Murray or
Who would you play?
Kyler Murray against the Niners? Don't like that, so I went out and grabbed Sam
Yeah.
Howell against the Rams.
Yeah,
I
dude.
like
Sam
that.
Howell's a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, that's why I
And
like
it's up
the
against a
matchup
pretty
too.
weak defense. I'd probably do
Yeah,
that. I mean, I
That's
don't
go
what
with
I
trust.
have
Sam
in.
Howell.
That's what I have.
I
in,
just would
but
not trust any quarterback playing against Jets defense. Jets
not me
defense
either.
is actually, dude,
And then I
they're
have
like top
Kyler
tier.
Murray who's turning up too. San Francisco. It's like, all right, I'll go with Sam Howell. I can't believe he's out there
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
playoffs.
that's a tough.
Crazy
Those are
spot.
some tough choices. Yeah,
Yeah, that is
but
tough.
Yeah, we'll get into this next game. Is this our first interconference one? I haven't really been paying attention. No, the Jets or Broncos and Lions. Where I
Yep,
forgot
yep,
about that
I
one on
don't know.
Saturday. So we have Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns are a 3-point favorite in this one. Minus 180 on the money line. Bears plus 152, and the over-unders at 38. All this Browns team has been doing is picking up wins. Joe Flacco's look really good. I know they didn't get the win in his first game back against the Rams. That was a game where the Rams kind of offense was just clicking. Everything was going for them that day out there in SoFi. I like the Browns here to cover the number. I think they get the job done at home. They did it last week to Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. They were able to handle them on their home field. It was a pretty high-scoring game for the Browns. Their defense gave up a lot of points, but that's Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be able to replicate that same success. Give me the Browns to cover the number. I also like the under at home.
Yeah, with Joe Flacco running this offense right now, I really don't see this Bears team at least stifling this Browns team. Browns defense, I'm giving them the edge. I mean, their offense right now, I'm giving them the edge. Bears have won 2 straight. They're playing pretty good football. I don't really think they're a very good team. I think they're going to fall flat on their faces here. I think this is just a good situation for the Browns to be in. Sit at 9-5 after this game. Looking good for a playoff spot. I think this Browns team deserves a playoff spot. Top 2 defense in the league, in my opinion. I think just their defense enough will be able to get them a win this Sunday.
Yeah, I like all your guys' points there. Not much more to add on to it. It's the Browns defense is really what's winning the game, and then game managing Joe Flacco. I think the Bears come back down to earth, like Mackey said, even though they might be pesky in it. I think the Browns pull away late. I don't think Fields is able to get his thing going with the way that defense lines up. I think it's going to be a lot of struggling, a lot of turning the ball over, maybe some fumbles too. Maybe look at a defensive touchdown this game, honestly. But I think the Browns stack another one. Joe Flacco. I'd be crazy if we can get him and the Ravens in the playoffs matching up. But yeah, rolling with the Brownies here.
All right, I think we're all on the Browns in that game. We will head to our next game where we have the Kansas City Chiefs heading up to New England to take on Aces Patriots. Chiefs coming in this game as an 8.5-point favorite, minus 400 on the money line. Patriots plus 315 on the money line. And the over/under is at an even 37. This is a tough game. Obviously, we've seen Belichick go against Mahomes throughout his career. He's usually ace. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's kind of had his number a couple of times, at least when he had Brady. I know that's a whole different story, but I kind of like the Patriots here. I'm not going to bet it. Absolutely not going to bet it. Too big of a number. Chiefs don't cover spreads. I'm not on the Chiefs in this game. I'm not going to really be betting this game at all just because it kind of is a tough matchup. I think the Patriots defense is able to keep this close.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. I really don't. I think it's a 1 o'clock game. I think the Chiefs get going. I'm high on the Chiefs all year long. I think that the Bailey Zapp show, it just kind of showed the flaws that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. And Belichick's only beaten other good coaches this year. There's rivalries with. Maybe that's why he could beat Andy Reid if you're looking at it. But he's beaten the Jets, the Bills, and the Steelers, the 3 biggest rivals of the Patriots. So yeah, I like the Chiefs here to have their way. I don't think Zappy repeats his performance at all. I think it could be lower scoring. That might be something to look at. Maybe if anything, that's how they'll hold him out. Maybe you get a Butker prop game. I think he definitely bangs through at least 1.5. That could be a really good play to look at, actually. But I think the Chiefs win this week. And like I said, I was on the Lions too. I think they separate themselves in that division. Too good of a team not to. That's why we have them in our top 5 in the power rankings. I don't think Patrick Mahomes loses to Bailey Zapp in any chance in the world. I don't think there's a way Bailey Zapp finds a way to cover a spread against Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, that's my take on this one.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs win this one by 30. I think this is a good spot for Mahomes to get back on track. Travis Kelsey to get in the end zone a few times. I'm looking at an alternate spread on this one. I just think that this is going to be one of the ugly ones where the Patriots, as we know, they've already given up in their season. But this is one where the Chiefs really need. They're playing for a lot right now. They're playing for a lot of confidence. They're not going to stop running up that score if it gets up there. So, give me the Chiefs here in a murder rate.
2 quick notes on this one, though. First off, this is a historic game because it's the first ever game that's been flexed out of Monday Night Football, put into the 1 o'clock slot. That's why I love the Chiefs even more this week. But also, I think Pacheco should be back this week, and he's a big part of their offense. So hopefully they can get him reinserted.
Personally, I'm just not as scared as Kelsey as I was last year. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't look like himself the past couple of weeks.
His age is showing.
Yeah, he's not the same player he was last year, and you can't tell me he is. The past 3 weeks, he's been non-existent on that team.
Yeah, but like only the past few weeks, like you weren't gonna say, you would not have said this 6 weeks ago.
No,
Yeah,
I
because he was
think
all
he's
over the
fine,
news
but
dating Taylor
I
Swift.
thought
No,
all
'cause he
year
was
coming
playing
into
really
the
good
I thought all
football. He
year
put up
coming
150 yards and a touchdown.
the tight end decline, you have to be it's so physical of a position. You could just tell he's getting a little bit older. I think he's still fine. He's gonna get back to his ways, but
I just think, I mean, he's going through a rough slump right now. I mean, there's a lot going on in his life that he's never had. I mean, all this media attention, it could be fucking with him a little, but I mean, I don't think he's really regressing like that just yet. I mean, 6 weeks ago we were still saying he's the best tight end in the league, and he's putting up those numbers. So he's going through a rough slump right now. But I wouldn't jump the gun on a regression just yet.
I don't put it this way. I don't think Travis Kelce touchdown props and all this shit is auto bets anymore. Like they don't use them like that. He has 3 tight ends, Mahomes, that like uses Justin Watson, uses Kelce, clearly not near the end zone. They run the ball when they get down to the end zone. And we saw last week, Kelce throws a fucking lateral to Kadarius Toney. It doesn't even count. I mean, I don't think Kelce props are valuable as much anymore. He just doesn't look like the same player.
And the odds are still the same, so there's no real worth on throwing on him.
mhm.
Exactly.
I think he'll get back to his ways come playoff time, though. I will say that.
All right, we will head into this next matchup where we have the Washington Commanders heading out to SoFi to take on the Rams. Rams coming to this matchup a 6.5-point favorite, minus 310 on the money line. Commanders plus 250, and the over/under the highest one of the highest ones of the week, other than Mackey's Dallas Cowboys. The over/under of 50.5. It's a tough spot here. I think the Rams are fighting for a playoff spot, but I don't love the 6.5 points. I usually like to take that kind of underdog. I feel like it stays within a touchdown, but I don't know. I think the Rams win the game. Commanders cover. I don't like it. Don't know if I'm actually going to bet it. I just feel like the Commanders kind of need this one. I know they're kind of like they're more playing spoiler to the Rams in this spot. Rams need this win. I think the Rams get the win, but I think Sam Howell and the Commanders keep it close. Mackie, which way are you going on this one?
I mean, this Commanders team has just been getting absolutely lit up. I mean, 2 straight losses by over 30 points. I think that they're kind of just taking in their fate, and they know that they're not playing for much anymore. I know they have a young quarterback still trying to prove a lot, so it's not like they're not out there trying. But I do think the Rams cover here. I think that they they just take care of business. They're in a tough situation, or they're in a tight situation in the playoff race, and if it's a 4 or 5 point game late in the game, they're not going to be running the ball to try to like kill clock. I think they're going to really be trying to put it down their throats and throw it to the end zone and get a touchdown and try and which will be enough to cover the spread. I think it could be close throughout the game. I'm not saying it's the safest bet ever, but I do think the Rams cover the 6.5 points.
Yeah, what a crazy game because the Rams are right there in that playoff race too with their record. I think they win this game. I think the over does hit. I think the Commanders keep it pesky throughout, and it's a good fight. Sam Howell, one of the leaders in air yards in the season. He has all those weapons on the outside too. But I think Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, they really looked like 2 studs healthy once again. So Stafford's healthy too. McVay's going to win this game at home. I think the Rams are going to push those Vikings for the playoffs here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the Rams could be that team that sneaks in that NFC race. Obviously, with a
Oh,
win this week, that helps them.
if we said it before the season, everyone was sleeping on the Rams team. We said they could be right there in that playoff race,
And it
and they're
just
there.
absolutely,
Maybe they
yeah, it
are.
just absolutely helped our take that they have a receiver that
Huff's,
none of us had heard of.
Huff,
Oh
It's so good.
we knew about Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, right?
a beat knew
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Puka
definitely.
Nacua somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, you knew about him.
Yeah,
What was I
yeah.
gonna say
Beat.
though?
I was just
Huff, your take about saying the Rams are what we expect the Seahawks to be. I think that's the most accurate take of the year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had faith in that Seahawks team to put up a fight in that division. They have a tough matchup this week, obviously against a struggling Eagles team these past couple of weeks, but I think the Rams just silently are going to keep picking up wins, and this week's going to be one of them.
I mean, the Rams and the Seahawks have the same exact record.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This week, I
But
think
the
the
Rams are
Rams win, and
trending
I can
up.
see the Seahawks lose. Yeah,
Yeah, Rams definitely trending the right way, but I don't know. I mean, the Seahawks are who the Seahawks are supposed to be.
Yeah, but after
I don't
this week,
know.
it could look
I feel
different.
like people expected the Seahawks to have a little bit more wins. Like, what was their win total set at? Does
Yep.
anyone know that off the top of their head?
Probably
Probably
like
8.5 or
8.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
You think it was that low? I feel like it was probably
I don't
9.
think it was. I don't think it was 10.5.
No, it was
I was
definitely
gonna say
8.5.
9.5.
I'd say 9.5. But I would
Yeah, I
take
don't
the
know.
over.
We'll get and speaking of the NFC West, we have the two other teams in the NFC West in a 4 o'clock matchup. The San Francisco 49ers heading down to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Coming in, the 49ers are in this game are a 12.5 point favorite, minus 800 on the money line. with the Cardinals plus 560 and the over-under at 47.5. The Cardinals are terrible. Give me the 49ers to cover this number. I'll probably card this one. The Cardinals just don't really have much going for them. No, I like Kyler Murray. I think he struggles against this defense. Yeah, I just kind of like the 49ers in this spot. There's really not much else to say about it. They're the best team in the NFL going up against one of the worst. Give me the 49ers to cover the number. Ace, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right, Huff. And the Niners have been covering big numbers all year, so I'm going to take them to do the same. But someone think it's a divisional matchup, and the Cards are coming off a bye. This could be a good spot because they know them a bit. I don't think so at all. This is Kyler Murray's toughest test of the season so far since he's came back. I don't think they do anything big here. One of the worst defenses in the NFL too. So McCaffrey props are going to go crazy this game. And we look at Purdy to keep trending towards his MVP season. I know you could call him a game manager or whatnot, but he's right up there with Dak. It's their race, so I think he has a big one here this week. And Debo really looking like his true self the past few weeks since that Eagles game. So yeah, I got the Niners all over him and everything this week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this game. I think it's going to be pretty shitty. Niners just get out of there with the win. Cardinals aren't going to do much. I like the minus 12.5 too, but I'm not going to be playing that.
All right, we will get into our last 4:30 game of the week. On Sunday, we have Mackey's Dallas Cowboys heading up to Buffalo to take on the hot Buffalo Bills, who've been playing pretty good football, like Ace said earlier on. Bills coming to this one as a 1.5-point favorite, minus 132 on the money line. Cowboys plus 112, over under at 50.5. Mackey, I'll let you start off on this one. Which way are you going here? I think I know.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm also going to be in attendance at this game, boys. I don't know if you knew that, but I will be
No,
in
that's sick.
Buffalo for this game. I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I think that, I mean, this team is just playing such good football. How are you going to make them underdogs? I don't care who they're playing. Bills are playing good football as well, but I mean, they're not playing that good football. I mean, they lost to the Eagles 2 weeks ago. It was a very good game, very good performance. It was more vintage Bills, but they still lost the football game. I'm gonna have the Cowboys get the job done. I know they're going on the road. They're 7-0 at home and they're 2-2 on the road or whatever it is. But this team's just playing way different than they were in the beginning of the season, where they dropped a few games on the road. I think they get it done here. I think it's a good spot for Dak Prescott to kind of light up this defense and keep that ball rolling.
Mackey, if you're not a Cowboys fan, is this line sketchy at all to you?
Yeah, it's definitely sketchy. That's kind of why I'm sketched out about, or yeah, why I'm sketched out about it. But I don't know. I'm still gonna take it. It's just like Ace taking those Bruins today. The Bruins should probably still get it
No,
done.
I agree. I definitely agree. I just think this is definitely the sketchiest line of the week. I think this is a must-win game for the Bills. The Cowboys definitely can't afford to lose a game with how close they are to the Eagles, but I think I like the Bills in this spot. I think the Bills can come out and get a win here, a much-needed win, coming off a hot game against the Chiefs. This was the stretch of the Bills' schedule that we were all looking at, saying they could go 2-4 at best with the way they were playing. I think this is a huge home game, Saturday or Sunday afternoon. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I just think it's a weird line that's telling me to take the Bills here.
I'm pissed that the Bills are not underdogs here because I'm right there with you, Huff, and I'm a big advocate of these Cowboys. I think they're going to go a little bit further than they do in the playoffs normally. Get to the second round this year, but I do not think they win this week. I had them last week on the card. I think the Bills get the job done. It's in Bills country, Bills Mafia. And you know what? The over is going to be hit. Josh Allen's going to throw an interception. CeeDee Lamb's going to score a touchdown. But the Bills are going to win this game. It could even go to overtime. But I think the Bills are going to make the playoffs, and they're having big statement games back-to-back weeks over the Chiefs and now at home over the Cowboys. That place is going to be rocking, Mackie. Are you wearing a Cowboys jersey there?
Oh, come on! You know I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey there.
All right, be prepared. Be prepared. Good luck, buddy. That's gonna be a fun one.
They don't care.
I went up. Yeah, they're not.
They don't care
not
about
like
other
that.
fans. They just care about getting drunk. They're not gonna.
No,
be
it's
mean.
honestly crazy, Ace. When me and Jesse went
I
there, we
figured
were
they'd be
walking
ruthless.
around. No, dude, they're actually like not that bad. They're just
They
like
just want you
not
to get
like
fucked up and
they're
have a
just
good
like
time.
you know what it's like. Like they're all like the nice Canadians, like because
Yeah,
they're all
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's dude. Me and Jesse
They're
are
all
walking down
neighboring
the street.
people.
Yeah, dude, me and Jesse are walking down the street in Buffalo going to this tailgate that we are going to. I'm wearing a Watt jersey and Jesse's wearing a Steeler jersey too. These four dudes pull down all these windows on this truck. I'm like, Jesse, they're about to fucking throw shit at us. Like, we should probably start like picking up our pace. They literally go, boo! boo and just start fucking booing us. I'm like, that's the best you got is you're just gonna fucking boo me? Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
And then
that's
it was just like a
hilarious.
little thing. I'm like, yeah, it's totally different. Like, they're really not that bad. You'll be okay. That's a sick stadium. I
Oh, I
will say
wasn't
that too.
worried about it anyway,
It
but
feels
I don't
like
know.
it
Orchard
feels like a
Park.
college stadium there. Yeah, it feels like a college stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be a good game. It could good
Shootout.
situation for the Bills.
Shootout.
I just think that if the Bills are gonna win this game, it can't go over. No way. I mean, you're not gonna keep pace with Prescott and light up that defense. The only way
Well,
I think the Bills
I
have
feel like
a
they would
chance of
lose in
winning.
an under game because you guys have the defense.
Yeah, but I mean, Bills are not gonna pick apart that Dallas defense. If anything, Dak Prescott's not going,
Dallas is
and that
putting up
offense is
points
gonna score.
regardless, Mackie. Dallas is putting up 20 plus
And
regardless.
Dallas is winning. If Dallas's offense is moving like they usually do, then Dallas is winning this football game. Josh Allen turns the ball over so much as it is, going up against a team that makes offenses turn the ball over the most in the league. I mean, there's no chance that if Dak Prescott is rolling in this game, then the Bills have any chance of winning the football game. I think it's going to be cold up in Buffalo. It's going to be one of those games. I think Dak could have a tough game, but then again, he's trying to make an MVP case right now, and he's playing best football he's ever played in his entire life. I think it's just a different year for him. I think he wins these games which he normally loses.
Yeah, it'll be a good one though, Mackie. I'll get to watch this one with Tony Romo on the call, but definitely enjoy that one.
All right, we will get into our Sunday night matchup of Week 15. We do have the Baltimore Ravens heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Ravens a 3.5-point favorite in this one, minus 174 on the money line, and the over/under is at 42.5. Trevor Lawrence, he's definitely playing in this game. I know he played that whole Browns game, so we like to think he's another week healthy in this game. Just kind of check him with that in there. That was my take. I'm on the Jaguars here, plus the 3.5 points. Prime time underdog. Get the hook. Give me the field goal and a hook. Love the Jaguars plus 3.5 in the prime time home field, home dog. Say whatever you want. Love the Jaguars here. They don't win the game. Ravens win the game. Jaguars cover.
I'm taking the Ravens -3, buying that half a point. I think they're going to finish with the best record in the NFL. And yeah, they're going to. Trevor Lawrence going to have a tough day once again. Play the Browns defense. Actually put up some points after that injury. Surprised he even was active. But yeah, the Ravens in the primetime have been great. They've been great all year long, coming off of a huge victory last week against the Rams. Game a bit tighter than Mackie would have liked. But there's a reason good teams win tight games. I like the Ravens here. I think it'll be a lower scoring game than we expect with two strong defenses. And Lamar Jackson will be the difference maker. I bet you he finds the end zone on Sunday Night Football too. So look for that again on my card.
Yeah, Huff, I'm with you on this one. I think the Ravens can probably get the job done, but it's one of those games, Sunday Night Football. I think it falls in between 3.5 points. I think it's going to be a really good football game, one of those vintage two top teams in the AFC. You're going to see a good game from Lamar Jackson, but it is going to be a defensive game. So I think both teams keep it close. You're going to see you're going to see a vintage drive from Lamar Jackson that kind of puts them over the top here. But I think the Jags keep it close and cover the spread.
It's tough that we all
Barring
took the
Trevor.
Ravens, dude, because this is a big spot for the Jaguars. They've been slipping a bit. I know they've had injuries and whatnot, but their record's falling.
I mean, they could easily win this football game. Don't get
I'm
me
taking the
wrong, but
points. I'd be happy they win the game. I mean, I'm just taking the points. I don't
think the
actually like.
points. I
I'm
think the
not betting
points
the
is
Ravens to win the game. I think just give me the points at home in the prime time.
Yeah.
a great play. I think it's a great play here. The 3.5.
All right, we will jump over to our Monday night matchup where we have the Philadelphia Eagles heading out to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Eagles come into this game as a 3.5-point favorite, minus 196 on the money line, and the over/unders at 47.5. I'm on the Eagles here. I like the number, the 3.5. I think they covered this number on Monday Night Football. I know I kind of just said the exact opposite with the 3.5-point underdog at home in the prime time, the whole thing. I think the Jaguars are a much better team than the Seahawks are. And I also think the Eagles can't lose another game. This is a must-win game for them. They're going to look really good in this game, I think. At least that's what I'm anticipating. A lot of running for this Eagles team, which could make it tough to cover this spread, as that's kind of like what they want to do, kind of eats up clock. Give me the Eagles to cover this number. Seahawks haven't looked the same the past couple of weeks. Not much using of Kenneth Walker and things like that. I know he was injured, but he was most of the reason I was betting on the Seahawks early on this year. Can't take the Seahawks in this spot, even though they're home in Monday Night Football. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Mackie, where you going?
Yeah, dude, give me the Seahawks on the money line. You know, the last 5 Monday Night Football games, the underdog has won. I'm gonna go with it again. You know what? Eagles are playing terrible football. Two got blown out twice to the other to the other two top NFC teams. Jalen Hurts does not look like he's playing good football at all, and that defense isn't really doing their job either. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here at home. It's a tough place to play. It's Monday Night Football. Um, I think the 4 points is safe, but I'm just gonna be bold and take the money line. Eagles are sliding here. They don't have all the confidence in the world. They're still a top 3 team in the league. I just think one of the this could they're just going through a tough slate right now. You saw the Niners hit a 3-game skid as well. Still the best team in the league. Teams go through skids. I think this is a tough spot for them. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks on the money line.
Yeah, I'm against you,
I'm gonna
Mackie. I
go.
think you
What'd
got
you
it.
say?
What were you saying?
I was just saying it's definitely a biased play, but I'm gonna try to convince myself that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are getting right back into shape this week, Mackie. I'm with Huff. Um, Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. The offense has a great spot against a very vulnerable Seahawks defense. Who the hell is playing quarterback for the Seahawks? Is it Drew Lock? Is it Geno Smith? I don't even know. But I know that they're splitting carries with a lot of banged up players. DK Metcalf will probably get his, but look for AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts to have huge games. Goddard was back last week. He's going to be more inserted into the offense. Swift will get going on the ground.
That's going to be a touchdown pick for me this week. Is
Got
Goddard.
it. Yeah, he should. I thought he was going
Yeah.
to get one last week, but he just came back off the injury, so it makes sense. In a tougher spot, I think he definitely gets in this week too, Huff. I think Jalen Hurts
Yep.
gets in two after being stymied on the push a bit.
The Eagles' offense is not going to roll this week.
They are though. They really are
They're
though.
not. They have no
Doesn't
momentum right
matter.
now. They have nothing going. I don't.
You know
I
what they
think
said?
this
You
team
know
is in
what though,
trouble.
Mackie? They're the second best. Realistically, like they're like probably the third best team in the NFL. I know the Cowboys are a better team than them, but like you count playoffs and all that into it coming down the stretch. Everybody thinks the Eagles are going to be right there, and they probably will be. So I'm going to take them to get right this week. I really do think so. I don't see them falling flat on their face. Great teams know how to do things at the right time, in the prime time. Sirianni, Hurts, Brown, give me all of them.
I agree. Mackey's just trying to talk himself into Cowboys getting an underdog win and the Eagles losing as a heavy favorite to take another lead in the division.
I've
That'd be fresh, though.
I've never seen a Cowboys Eagles game like that. I've never seen total dominance from the Cowboys. I've seen it from the other side, from what these teams have seen, from what these teams have played. That was total dominance. The Cowboys are the way better team. I just don't think that Eagles team is even like
So
that
you're
good right now. I
praying, you're
don't.
praying the Eagles have to go back to Dallas.
Yeah, 100%. Why would I not rather?
I
play?
think
They're
I
7-0
think
at
Dallas.
home.
I was gonna say I think Dallas is like not even arguably it's the hardest place to play in the league this year.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's our only. That's our only path to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
too,
agreed.
we
So you
get
need the
there.
Eagles to slip up, and you need to take care of business. Asking a lot. I'm sticking with game by
Listen,
game
I think
basis.
I
like
think the
Eagles.
Eagles can. I think the Eagles can drop a game to the Giants as well. To be honest, but we'll get into that. They play them twice in 3 weeks. Listen, man.
All right. Well, that's interesting though. I
Well-
didn't know that. But they're not losing.
All right, that's gonna do it for our Week 15 slate. We got through that pretty quickly. A lot of games this week. Make sure you're staying tuned to the social media to see what we're going with in the NFL. Obviously, like we said, games on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this week. So a full weekend of the NFL. Make sure you're staying tuned to the social media to get those plays and go if you want to ride with what we're going with. We kind of already went through what we think for the AFC and the NFC playoff picture, the teams that we think are going to sneak in. So we can jump right over to our NHL power rankings for this week. Get in a little hockey talk. We will start with our power rankings, like I said. The Florida Panthers coming in this week at number 5, Vancouver Canucks at 4, Aces Bruins at 3, Mackey's Rangers at 2, and the Vegas Golden Knights retaking over that number 1 spot out there in the West with the most points in the NHL. They secure that number 1 spot. I'll let you guys kind of take it. Obviously, Ranger. I just combined both your teams' names, two
The
different ways.
Rangers.
The Rangers,
They'd be disgusting.
the Rangers and the
They'd be
Bruins.
disgusting.
are-
The Northeast
both-
Rangers. They'd roll
Obviously,
the
both your
Penguins
teams
off.
have been
I'll
in
tell
that
you
number
that.
1 spot this year. What do you think with your teams kind of starting to slide? Not slide. Obviously, you want to see anytime you see your team in the top 5, you like that. But what do you think, Ace? Obviously, your Bruins, they've been sliding the past couple of games. You think they're going to be okay? What are we thinking up there in Boston?
Yeah, I mean they've won 3 of their last 4, so they're back in shape, which is good to see. I don't really want to spend too much time talking about the Rangers, the Bruins, or the Knights. We toot their horns a lot. They're top 3. They can
They're
move a
top
little
3.
bit.
Yeah, they are top 3. Yeah.
But I really want to touch on some of those other teams. I like looking at the bubble. We got the Canucks kind of entrenching themselves in that 4 spot. Who do we have at 5 this week, Mackie? Florida. So they're right there. I know the Avs are right there. I threw them in the mix. The Kings are hovering there. Who's a few Dallas
Kings, yeah.
Stars. Dallas Stars hanging
There
around.
are like 7 teams that can fit in those final 2 spots.
You can put a lot of people there. The Hurricanes are another one. I mean, there's a lot of good teams playing good hockey
No.
right now. I think they'll be there towards the end, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely, but they're playing terrible right now.
What about the
Like,
Leafs?
Leafs are playing very good hockey as well. They could be in that conversation. I think the Kings are definitely the supposed to be. I mean, they dropped 2 in a row to the Islanders and the Rangers, but it's tough to come over to New York and play two games. But I think they're definitely a top 5 team in the league. That Kings team is really damn good.
Yeah, I'm watching the another two pair of teams. I already mentioned them, but the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche outside of the top 5. Those are my 2 Western Conference picks to come out. 2 of the strongest teams in the league. They're not in our top 5, but definitely be on the watch for them because they're right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is our top 5 of our power rankings for the NHL each. We do these each week, so make sure you're staying tuned to the social medias to get those. Not much else going on in the NHL world. Definitely going to dive more into the NHL as we get closer to obviously the All-Star break coming up right after Christmas. And then as we get closer to playoffs, we always dive more into the NHL picture. But NBA has been kind of front and center with this in-season tournament this past couple of weeks. Everyone's been talking about it, how much of a success it was. We saw the Lakers bring it home and take home the first annual in-season tournament with a 123-109 win over the Pacers. Pacers were hot coming into that game. Islanders just scored first. Let's fucking go.
Was it?
Who the fuck is number 2? Was defenseman.
Fuck.
What's this guy's name?
Which guy?
Riley. They're reviewing it. God, it better be a fucking goal.
Review it.
I'm on the Habs tonight.
No, I'm talking about the Islanders. I said Islanders.
You're watching the Islanders game over the Pens game?
Yeah, Penguins were down 2-0, and I have Islanders to score first, so I turn this on.
I got the Islanders.
Nope, I need it to be Brock Nelson.
It's not.
Well, it's gonna get taken back, Hoff.
I don't know if it's getting taken back. Silverberg pushed him into the goalie.
Huff, by the way, it's 3-1 Habs.
But all right, we'll jump back into this into the NBA. Obviously, like I said, Lakers take home the in-season tournament. I think we all called that. I was hyped to see that. I had them in that game to cover the number, so they did that for me. I had them in a nice parlay as a last leg. Big to see LeBron get it done. You see all the quotes. Everyone's saying LeBron said he was talking to all the rookies, saying, I got your back. We'll get this done for you guys.
Well,
yeah,
no,
Mac,
it's because players that are like on dual rosters, like the G League roster and the NBA, they're not like guaranteed it. So that's why he was saying, "I got you." Like I'm gonna make sure you guys get paid as well.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah,
it wasn't like him like being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go win this for you guys."
Well, Mickey gets another meaningless stat to throw up against.
Who
Michael
the
Jordan.
fuck is Alex Fudge? Let me ask you that. Tell me what college you went to. I'll give you $500.
I bet it's a school that we bet. I bet it's a school we bet on last year. I'm not saying that's a general thing, but I guarantee it's a school we fucking bet on a lot. Actually.
All right, I'm looking it up.
Any last guess?
You went to LSU.
Tell me the conference.
LSU.
Tell me the conference. All right, is that it?
LSU in Florida.
Okay. Oh, I played at Florida last. Never heard of him.
So,
no.
All right, and we'll jump into our NBA power rankings. So staying in the NBA, we have, for the first time this year, finally showing some respect to the Orlando Magic, sliding into this top 5, consistently playing good basketball up there in the top of the East. Philly at number 4, Minnesota Timberwolves at 3, the only Western Conference team in our top 5. And then the Milwaukee Bucks at 2, and Aces Boston Celtics sitting up there at the 1 seed. This is a pretty solid list. I was happy to see the Magic finally get in there. That's a team I've been rooting for this year. Just a young team. The Wagner brothers and Banchero have been going off for them down there in Orlando. Fun young team to watch. So I like to see the Magic in there. Philly, obviously, they're going to get a win tonight against Detroit. Everyone does that. Minnesota. Let's talk about the Timberwolves silently just staying in there in this picture, staying up there at the top of the West. Yeah, dude, Edwards is elite, if not one of the best players in the West right now. He's been playing a hell of a good basketball. Minnesota continues to pick up these wins. I'm impressed with what I've seen from this Timberwolves team. After Mackey, before the season, we were talking, are they going to trade Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks? Are they going to trade him here, there? They end up keeping him, and it's been a great fit up there in Minnesota. How far do you think this team can go? Is this a true contender?
No,
I I think that this team is a lot. It's what? No goal. Let's
Mike
go.
Riley, fucking
Um,
bitch.
I think that this team is a lot like that Grizzlies team from last year. I think that they're very good. They have a lot of promise, but they're just too young right now. They're led by Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is the reason that they're playing so well. It's the reason that their record is what it is. Um, don't get me wrong. I think he has potential to be a top 5 player in the league in the next 3-4 years. Probably even sooner than that. But um, he's too young right now. He's too inexperienced. He's never even been in this scenario. I think they're gonna kind of fall short when it comes to playoff time, but I think that they can finish in a top 3-4 seed and definitely just keep building around this team, building around these young stars. Anthony Edwards can really be a top player in this league. I have a lot of faith in him. I really like him. I think that he should they should really build around him for the years to come because this team can definitely be competitors for the next few years.
Yeah, you're not wrong. One team I'm waiting to respect, though we've respected the Orlando Magic, is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Chet Holmgren All Star. He's gonna make the All Star game this year. I saw some early looks at those. I don't know if you guys caught those coming out, but that team's
It's
real.
all shy though. I mean, it's not all shy, don't get me wrong, but it is
Holmgren's
shy
good
Gilgeous
though.
Alexander. He's very good. No, he's a huge asset to that team. It's all role players in that team that are just all buying in, but it's all surrounded by shy. I mean, that
Yeah,
guy's just playing
got a lot of talent.
absolutely ridiculous ball. Um,
The Nuggets falling
I
out of our top five, huh?
yeah, they're still not a team I would want to see right now.
No Suns
Best
yet,
player in the world
Mackie.
still.
I know you wanted to
No, they're
respect
right
the
there. I
Lakers
mean,
for the
dude, they
in-season tournament too.
you gotta throw them in there for the in-season
Yeah,
tournament.
Lakers before Phoenix. And personally, I think Denver just slipped at the wrong time. Dallas is right there. The West is soaked. Obviously, both kind of conferences, I guess the word I'm looking for, are pretty tight. But I mean, in my opinion, those four teams that we have there in the East are better than the top 2, 3, and 4 in the West right now.
Yeah, I
What
agree with
about
you
those
too.
Warriors kind of falling apart over there? They're sitting at a 11 or 12 seed in the West right now. You guys think they can turn it around?
You guys
No,
are
they're gonna
Warriors
get
fans. I
into the
love seeing
play-in
them.
tournament. They're gonna
I
get
think
into
they'll
the
get into
play-in
the.
tournament. And they'll win there.
I, I think that they'll either sit at like as a 6 seed or they'll be a 7 or 8 in the play-in, and they'll find their way into the playoffs. But they're definitely not making any
They're gonna
noise this year. I
backdoor their
think
way in. One team that's playing
yeah,
great and Kyrie's out right now is the Dallas Mavericks. They continue to stick around our power rankings. Do you guys think Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers ever sniff the top five?
I think that tournament kind of built up a little bit of hype for them. I think tonight they're in a pretty tough spot. To Halliburton doing the Dame time watch point, I think that could bite him in the ass tonight in Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee kind of little brothers them and gets their revenge. Obviously, Milwaukee's 0-2 against the Pacers this year. I think, and then Halliburton does the fucking Dame time celebration. I don't know. I like the Bucks tonight, but the Pacers obviously a good young team. I think they'll stick around right there in that middle of the pack of the East. I just think those top 3 or 4 teams are pretty legit.
Yeah, a lot of good news out of the basketball world. A lot of teams heating up.
Like they're
And
fringe top 5. They're fringe top 5 in the East. You know what I mean? Like, so
mm,
I don't know how if we can just immediately throw them over
right.
yeah,
like
I agree with
Denver.
you.
Like there's Denver, LA, like all those teams we just named out west. I'm more comfortable throwing them in there than the Pacers right now.
I like the Pacers.
But I
I think
do
they're
think the
gonna.
Pacers. Yeah, I do think the
I
Pacers are a good team. But
uh,
um,
you think top
like I
6
said,
in the East this year, Huff? You think they get in before the in-season tournament?
yeah, I could see that.
I think they do. I
Yeah.
definitely do.
I don't see any of these teams that are in the play-in tournament right now. Miami, Brooklyn, Cleveland,
Miami, but I
Atlanta.
don't think Miami's gonna get out of it. I don't think Miami's that good. I think they're just kind of going
I don't
around
think
for a
Miami's that
while.
good either.
You
Yeah,
don't want to see them down the stretch though.
dude, I kind of think Orlando. Like, I think it's. I mean, I think Orlando keeps up. I think they could secure a top 6 spot. I know it's kind of biased off a 16-7 start. They're playing good basketball. They're a young team. They're only going to get better. The one team I look to slide out of there maybe would be the Pacers or the Knicks and go slide into that NC or the play-in tournament. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Pacers. I think the top 6 truly could stay as is for the East.
I think the Magic definitely follow it. I don't think they finish in the top 2 or 3
Yeah,
spot,
I'm not
but
saying not saying top 4. I think the Magic will get secure a playoff spot.
5 or 6.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that they're good enough. I mean, you can easily see growing pains with a team like this, though, and they can go on a 6-game losing streak or something, and then they're sitting in the end season playing tournament, trying to get back into the top 6. But you don't want to be in a situation where you're crawling from behind again. But I like
absolutely.
this Magic team. I think they're young. I think they're playing really good basketball right now, and they can keep it up. I don't see them making any noise in the playoffs with those powerhouses in the East, but they can definitely build on something down there.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch too. So I definitely I like rooting for them. So good to see the Magic having a good year. We'll jump real quick over to the world of college football, where bowl season gets started up this weekend. We have a 7-game college football slate this Saturday, with bowl games basically every day up until the rest of December, which is getting into bowl game season, which is always good. But make sure you're staying tuned to the social media, see what games of those we're going to be betting on Saturday. I was looking at the slate a little bit, nothing I really love. A lot of the bowl games that I'm starting to like look at as I like, they're like a random fucking Tuesday night or a random Thursday night game. So make sure you stay tuned to get the college football plays that we're going with throughout bowl season and up through the college football playoff. And then in the world of college basketball, we had Bronny James officially make his long-awaited debut for USC, despite falling short in the matchup to Long Beach State. Mackie, I'll ask you this. Ace isn't here, obviously. Do you think USC is going to make some noise in the Pac-12 this year? Currently sitting at 5-4, not in conference play. Do you have any faith in this USC team to make some noise in the Pac-12?
No, not really. I don't really like this USC team. I think they have a lot of hype around just because Bronny James is there. I think Bronny James has a lot of work to do before he can even really make any noise over there. We saw a lot of instabilities. I don't know if you watched that game, but
Is he? Let me ask you this: is he only coming off the bench because of his heart problem?
I'm assuming, yeah, they gotta
Okay.
like gel him back into it. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I
dude.
I
I
could
was
be
like,
wrong.
is this the plan with him? Like, you have the most hyped up player, like everyone's there to see him, and he comes off the bench. It's like
No, I'm assuming that's why they gotta kind of gel, like kind of
they
gradually
don't want him playing.
bring him
They don't
into
want him
things.
playing 32 minutes the first night.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I mean, they still have like Isaiah Collier. He's playing pretty good basketball. I just don't think they have enough around him. Not enough role players in that team to really make noise. They could sit maybe around the top 25, but I mean, I don't think they're as bad as 5-4 losing to Long Beach State. I think that's a terrible loss, but I don't think this team makes any noise.
Yeah, I tend to agree. We'll have to see kind of like when he's in full, you know what I mean, shape, what he looks like. I don't want to bias anything based off of that first game.
Draymond
Coming back.
Green. Sorry, were you done?
No, I was kind of ending there. I was just saying I don't want to judge anything on him coming back from basically a heart attack or whatever he
Right,
had.
right. Draymond Green suspended indefinitely. They have to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah. Dude, did you hear what he said in his fucking press conference? We'll jump back into the NBA real quick. I kind of
What do you
forgot to
say?
throw that in there.
I saw he was like, "Yeah, I had to apologize to him or something."
He said I forget how he said it. He said it was a mistake or an accident or something like that. It's like, dude, you fucking clearly threw your arm like a forehand at his neck.
I don't know
It's like,
what's I don't know what he does. I mean, there's no way like he can be doing this on purpose, right?
did you see the best clip is he did it right in front of the Warriors bench. Did you see the Warriors bench reaction when he
What
did
did
it?
they do? Just throw their
They
arms
all
up?
were like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me?" Like they all were like, "Again?" You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
knew
yeah.
he was in the wrong immediately.
Right. I mean, he's just so fucking like calm down, bro. Stop throwing yourself everywhere. Maybe you wouldn't be
Yeah,
swinging and kicking people all the time.
yeah, dude, stop punching 22-year-olds, bro. Like
It's
fucking you're
crazy. Yeah.
38. Just retire. He should like I
Go
saw people
start your
say,
podcast.
"Yeah,
Like
dude, just
you're
go do the
done, bro. You
podcast.
got
You
your
have
ring.
4 rings. Like get the
You guys are
fuck out of the league."
these guys are greedy, man. Him and Clay both want their fifth. Steph's like over here, his back's hurting with these guys fucking trying to
They're like
hop on
hoping
this
Steph
train
can
one more.
carry him the one more.
They're
It's
like,
like,
one
yeah,
more, Steph. We need one more.
one for the thumb, Steph. We got this.
He's like, help me.
He's like, "What did we pay you dumbasses for? You to fucking sit on the bench and be suspended indefinitely, and Klay Thompson can't
And,
fucking hit a
and
three to
Clay to
save his
just
life
sit
right
there
now."
and talk about his 4 rings that he already won.
Yeah.
All he
Yeah.
does.
Pointing to the rings to the Suns. It's like, yeah, dude,
All
that
he
was
does. Like, dude,
4 years
okay,
ago.
we get it. It's impressive, but go win another. Like, damn, you're still in the league.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, we kind of forgot to jump into that. And then obviously, Ace, I see you threw this in here. I forgot to throw this in here. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani signs with the Dodgers, 700 something million, crazy contract. What do we think
Two
the
million
Dodgers?
per year.
What'd you say?
2 million per year. That's what he's doing. You didn't know that?
Oh, for
No.
the rest of his
Dude, he's
life.
taking 2 million per year for the next like 10 years, and then he's doing like 68 million a year for the years after that. So the Dodgers have a lot of space to still spend money right now. But
So they're just fucked for like 15 years from now.
in 10 years, they're gonna have no money to spend because it's $68 million a year is going to Shohei Ohtani.
There's no cap though, so like,
You're right. But they have so much extra money right now because like they basically just signed Shohei for $20 million for 10 years.
Yeah,
so
that's
we're
an
gonna be like,
extension.
we're gonna be like 40 years old, and Otani's gonna be the next like Bobby Bonilla
Bobby
every
Bonilla
July
coming.
1st.
Yeah, except
Instead
Bobby
of getting
Bonilla,
$1 million, Otani
except-
gets 70.
Bobby Bonilla makes $1.7 million from the Mets every year. Shohei's going to be making $68 million per year.
I'd take that 1.7. That
Oh,
sounds like a
don't
good
get me
gig.
wrong. Yeah, but it's not. It is not the same thing.
You know
Just
what's
to sit
crazy
on
is
your ass and do nothing.
he's got a pretty crazy opt-out clause too. He can only opt out if certain executives leave the team.
Yeah, dude, you
Really?
just signed a $700 million deal. You better be
Yeah, like
fucking signed for
I'll do
life.
whatever you say.
You better suck my dick if I ask.
Go. Fuck. There was Nelson on a breakaway, Mac. He fucking sucks.
Still
All right.
or still 0-0?
Yeah. I think that's gonna do it. Did anyone else have anything else they wanted to jump into?
Damn, who the hell is Morgan Geeky? Is that his first name?
Yeah, Morgan Geeky
Yeah.
from the Seattle Kraken. We picked him up this year in the offseason. He just tucked
I
one.
took Brad Marchand first.
Like first goal scorer?
Yeah, I did a 3-leg $1 to win 1,000. Those never hit, you know. I don't know why they never
That's
hit.
a cool bet though.
They never hit. All right. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Make sure you stay tuned to social media. Like I said, full weekend in the NFL, a lot of NHL going on, NBA, a lot going on in the sports world right now. I'm not gonna want to miss any plays that we're going with. I've been doing pretty good in the world of college basketball. I have 2 plays going tonight as well. Other than that, that's gonna do it for me. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards wherever we're at. We appreciate it, and make sure you're tuning in for the Week 15 live stream this Sunday morning. Obviously, going to miss out on that on that Saturday slate, but we're going to get into 5 games for Sunday, and as well as the Sunday night football matchup in our Mortal Locks per usual. But that's going to do it for me this week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week for Week 16. Like Mackie said, season is flying.
Told you guys. I told you it was gonna fly.